What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. This is episode 2 of our Road to OP Summoner's War Let's Play. We've done a pretty good amount. Actually, the first episode received pretty decent feedback. It was kind of nice to get back into it, and obviously it's going to be fun to get back into this second episode here. I'm not going to waste too much time doing whatever, talking about this and that. I just want to kind of get into the nitty-gritty, because this episode's only going to be about 20, maybe 20 something extra minutes, 22, something like that. But we did have a lot happen. We're already level 10. We're going to check out what's in here, although we can't afford anything. I have spent some crystals and mana both to try and open the magic shop as much as possible. We'll probably get on that a little bit later. What I did do was spend some crystals for revives, because I was picky, and also at the same time, as you guys can see there, used reps so we can get the LD scroll. Now, I'm not expecting anything out of it at all. There's no part of me that thinks that we're gonna get anything great out of it. What you can see here, though, is we have picked up a couple extra units. The high elemental, which actually has an attack and attack speed buff, which made me kind of think she hits pretty hard. Could she be a good replacement for the fire hellhound? Maybe. I am using some fatal runes, although I could go back and get another set for her if need be. I could see myself actually replacing the fire hellhound if possible. It would kind of be a little bit different, a little bit fun. The fire salamander, he has some cool stuff. He, I believe, stuns, breaks attack, and reduces attack bar. I don't think we're going to work on him right now, but we're not going to fodder anybody away just yet. We're getting a couple extra skill ups here, which we're going to use when Hellhound gets to max level. So maybe we may keep him, I don't know. And then our Wind Serpent, which actually first skill removes a beneficial effect with a 75% chance. Second skill lowers attack speed, and it's an AoE. So this is really our only monster that we could possibly build for a Giant Speed 10 right now. So I'm not working on him yet, but it is very possible that I could start throwing something together in the future. Anyways, I'm not going to spend too much time wasting. I really do want to hold on, we're gonna have to max. Okay, we can do that. I really do want to see what we get out of this LD scroll. Now, keep in mind, I'm not expecting a Nat 5 or even a Nat 4 or even a good Nat 3. Most likely, I'm calling it right now. We got a martial cat on my last one. I'm calling a martial cat or a martial artist. Let's see what happens. So no lightning, we expected that. And okay, it is a what is this? Amazon. That's actually kind of useful. She could be a good attacker. We're gonna go ahead and open these. I saved these for you guys, even though they're not anything special. I just wanted to wait till after we played, or after the next video, so that way you guys could see pretty much everything that we do in terms of what I'm doing with it. So you're like, how did you get that? So anyways, she seems kind of useful. I may want to put a fatal set on her. You can see with her leader skill, when she gets awakened, accuracy goes up, which is pretty nice, depending on what skill she has. Let's see what she does. So, with the first skill, attacks accurately with a 30% increased chance of landing a crit hit. So, I normally keep monsters at about 70% crit rate as like a good standard of what, what makes it worth it to go crit damage route. And this, all by itself, makes it so you'd have 100% crit if you are at 70, so that really works. The second skill fires 2 magical arrows, with each having a 40% chance to disturb the enemy's HP. It's not that great. It doesn't do that much for us, but it could hit pretty hard. Third skill disturbs HP recovery for 2 turns with an arrow that destroys the enemy's soul. The enemy can't be revived if the enemy is killed with the skill. That's the only real thing about this. She's not too crazy, actually, but she's not necessarily awful. Anyways, if the music gets too loud, let me know. I'll turn it down a little bit here, so it doesn't get on everybody's nerves. With that being said, I may not build her just yet, but we could keep her around, for the future and everything. So with that being said, we're gonna go ahead and collect those. We do have a bunch of energy collected already, so we're gonna have to use that up at some point here. Yeah, we have been kind of pushing through these scenarios. Now that we're done, we can kind of slow down and take a look at what we need. So, at this point, we need to realize... At this point, we need to realize, now that we have some units, what are we going to build and what are we going to go forward with? At the same time, the Water Magic Knight seems like it's a pretty popular monster to go ahead and use, so why not? You know, we'll obviously want to incorporate her as, let's see, we're going to power up some of these units here. The Water Magic Knight. We'll just feed all this stuff into her. All these 1-stars. Nope, that's not a 1-star. So then we do have a couple of extra 2-stars. Now, these are Rainbow Mon. These are pure fodder food. All you use it for is sacrificing monsters of the same tier to get it to the next one, and then using these to sacrifice. So we'll make easy work of doing that. We have a couple of them here. I may want to actually keep the fairy around for a skill up, so we'll go ahead and do this instead. Oh, actually we have no mana stones, so whoops. We're gonna go ahead and check out Karos Dungeon right now. So these Hall of Heroes, you get one every month. It gives you a 4-star monster based on what they choose. We're definitely not able to take it out yet, but it is something that you should do if you need skill ups, or if you just really want the monster. By all means, go ahead and do it. I wouldn't necessarily do it for food unless you can do B3, but by the time B3 is able to be done, you probably don't need food like that. So Giants is really where a lot of people try to start off, and what I want to do is build a team around being able to do Giants. So Giants B10, he's going to be awful, but he does have a reduces attack bar by 50%, which is nice, and he is a defense-based monster. Let's see, guard. We do need some guard runes. I think I threw some on him. I did, but they're pretty awful. We don't have the mana to even take them off, so we're not going to worry about that. We'll put this on just for now. Give him some shield runes. Why not? And let's see. We could use revenge on somebody. Actually, she could have revenge. Oh, no, she can't. Darn it. She would have been really fun for revenge. We can take a look at her and try and do some things with her. Now, these are awful runes, don't get me wrong, but they could have some uses. She could be a pretty interesting monster. Like I said, she's not going to be super great, but you never know. I'm not going to accept that. No offense. But, you know, we don't need level 7. So at this point, what I want to do now is, like I said, kind of go through these and see what we can do. Obviously, we're going to have to build a team at some point. So with that being said, our first real trek is going to be Giants B4. That's how we're going to go for it, because that's the easiest one to do. It is a fire boss, which means that wind units are not going to be too useful, which means we will not be working on the Wind Serpent right off the bat, but we could work on these guys for fun if we would like to. Now, we'll get through the first floor of this. We should be able to pass it. Actually, hold on. Maybe I can just take her anyways. Increases crit rate of fire. Nah. And then, I think we're gonna go ahead and add her to the party. I don't know what she's gonna bring for us. We do need Fatal Set. We will be farming for some different runes to try and buff these guys up, because runeless, they're not gonna do very much. But she could have some very situational uses that are, you know, not too bad. So let's see. This guy, I'm actually getting some use out of him. I didn't think I would, but I in fact really am. I was so certain that this archer was going to be, or the Elven Ranger was going to be just total crap. But it's actually been pretty decent. Like, it's because some of my best runes are on him and his crit rate is so high, it actually runs fairly well. Not gonna say it runs great, but it's definitely not as bad as I thought. And wait, maybe she gets evolved or awakened into her third skill, or maybe I'm looking at this wrong. Hold on. Sorry, I'm not feeling too good today. My throat's pretty sore, so it's cracking a nice bit. So maybe I should stop talking. Alrighty, so really, after the 7th hit, the giant will always hit very hard in return. Now, B1's not a big deal, but once you get higher up, even B10, even if you're an established B10 player, you really don't want to let him get the counterattack unless you're buffed or ready to protect yourself, because he will do some major damage. So we get an unknown scroll to start off. We get 5 crystals, and alright, what was I looking at? I was looking at the awakened skill. So right now, actually, she's in the same boat as him, which means that I'm gonna have to kind of pay attention before I go head first into this. So yeah, we're gonna want to build a B4 established rune farming team, and it's not gonna be very long. It's gonna be something that kind of flows into place with our with our B10. So we'll have to see how that works, but right now we should just be working on getting runes for certain individuals. So if we check the Magic Knight, I'm using accuracy, but I don't need it. And because, let's see, these could be obviously buffed up, but we don't have any mana at all. So because crit rate is not really a big thing, I'm not really even sure we can get too much more crit on her. Currently, I don't think there's much opportunity to. We could either go for crit rate or we could go for energy, and try and make her tanky. Let's see. Well, I'm thinking, because if we go crit rate, obviously she's going to be a little bit more powerful, but if we go energy, she's going to be able to survive and farm a little bit longer. So I think I'm going to go energy. I can always replace it to blade if that's what we decide to do, but right now it's not that big of a deal. At the same time, granted that I don't know what our Giant Speed team will look like, I'm going to take the Serpent along with me, because I feel like if worse comes to worse, he probably would be the only monster that I get. It's a tough decision because there's a lot of decent monsters that I have. So we're gonna hope that everything works out. Now I've gotten all of my 3 stars minus the Dark 3-star. I've gotten them all from drops. Nothing has came from scrolls yet. I haven't opened any scrolls without you guys. So it's actually, I don't know, it's kind of funny how things work out, because like the majority of my 3 stars and my good monsters, not even like, I'm an awful summoner. I like, in terms of like my luck, I just can't get anything. So, but if you take me into a dungeon, my first time out, I will be getting like every single monster that it has to offer. It's so crazy. I don't know. I have no clue. So we finished this off pretty easily, and we're gonna be looking for runes. Let's see. I believe she needed a slot 1 and a slot 3. So we're gonna keep hunting till we find it. Preferably, I'd like to see. I'd like to actually see attack substats if that's even possible. But I have no clue how it's gonna work out, because like it's easily realistic that we can just say, okay, well, it's a white rune. Like, there's very little chance that we're gonna find anything of value, but even just to throw it on for the set value, that's pretty much all we need, and that's what I'm gonna go for, really. So the rest of these guys that I'm farming up, you know, they're just gonna be situational uses. I don't know what I'm really gonna build just yet, so I really just want to take in what needs to be taken in, and I need a tank, and the Serpent is also a pretty decent tank, so it could work out. It really could. Let's see. I definitely need to get some more mana so I can like bump these runes up on these guys, because some of the runes are just really bad. Okay. So we keep getting the same old unknown scrolls, so that's fodder and everything, but like no rune yet. Not even one. Generally, when you are playing the game, this is how you're going to want to do it when you're just starting off. The best possible way to kind of progress is to make sure that your runes are good. Runes are the number one most important thing in the entire game, and when you're starting off and you get to a point where you can't pass things, all you need to do is say, okay, I need to just go hunt some runes on these guys, get some things up, power them up a little bit, and then all of a sudden you realize your teams are much better off. So it's not really that difficult. You just got to do a little grinding for it. In terms of what units I'm going to go forward with this, it's so hard to decide because I'm still using the mindset of, oh, this is interesting, I want to build it like I do on my main. But more on this, I have to be like, okay, what am I really going to need? Now, it's never a mistake to make 5 stars. It's always going to be a mistake to make a 6-star if you're not sure about it. So if you end up regretting it, then that's going to be on you because you're going to not be able to follow it out of the way. But if you make a 5-star just to test it out and you're like, I don't really like this monster, then you can easily feed him away and make a 6-star out of it. So it's never a problem. Early on, obviously, making a 5-star is no easy task, so we're not going to pretend like it is. More importantly, what we're going to do is there's not really a sample size that we can do for a lot of these monsters. Like, for the most part, you can't really sample size a 3-star without decent runes. So we're going to have to just trust our gut on this one. And, when we get to Giants B4, we're going to spend a little time in there kind of amping up the rune quality that we get a little bit. And maybe going back to some of these scenarios and doing what we can. We're not, at this point, after you finish Famon, you're not worried about finishing the last 3 scenarios because it's going to be literally impossible. I'm only level 10, so I shouldn't even be as far as I am. So I'm a little bit underprepared as it is. So more than likely, we're just going to kind of hold off. Now, this is not the rune that I need at all. It is flat, but we could use it for a filler. Early on, I like to keep them all for fillers. We could give it to the Wind Serpent, which I believe his name is Ermeda. Maybe I'm wrong. Am I wrong? I could very well be wrong. But I'm going to just fill him up on him so he can be tanky. If I can, because he only takes 50, his passive makes it so he only takes 50% of fire damage. Which is fantastic. Because if I want to take him into a dungeon with fire monsters, I don't have to worry about that. He will be able to tank anything like it's not even a problem. On the flip side, it'll keep my other monsters alive and allow them to attack. Now with his defense break, or not defense break, speed break, sorry, that'll give us more turns, and then his first skill obviously is the removes beneficial effects, which can be extremely useful too. Now, he's not my favorite serpent. The serpents in general all have pretty good skill sets, pretty good builds, because they're not extremely slow. Alright, that's not a crazy rune, but you know what? We'll take it. So let's go ahead and do this. I know these runes suck, but we're going for the rune sets right now more than anything. So that gives us some HP. We're a little bit more tanky. Now on her, we don't need to do anything to her. She's pretty much solid. I mean, 3 sets of energy. She's tanky. We could give her attack, but there's no real point. For him, crit rate all the way is pretty much the biggest thing. He's almost at 60%, so that's really what I want to do with him, is just leave him in the form he is now. There's no reason to give him a substat. The serpent obviously would be nice with some stuff. Let's see. So he does need some energy runes. So I could actually continue to farm for some energy runes. We're going to kind of rune out all of our units. I know it's more of a guessing game than it is anything. And when we're done runing out our units, we'll kind of decide what we want to do going forward. Because if something's more useful than another, then I may build something for point A or point B. Now, it's going to be a while till we get to Dragons B10, Giants B10. We're not worried about that. What we are worried about is figuring out, do we have the units to progress accordingly? And right now, obviously, we don't, so we don't need to be worrying about any of that. What we should worry about is, what can we build? Now, obviously, you need to focus on some monsters, so I'm just going to throw some runes on these guys first, and then kind of tumble together a positive outlook. For now, it's a little bit too risky to just go head first with saying, let's build monster A or monster B, because I've never built a wind serpent, so I can't tell you how useful it's going to be in the future. I've never built up a fire salamander or a fire whatever high elemental, so none of those units are going to be extremely like I don't know the importance of them. I don't know how well they're going to fare in the grand scheme of things, so I'm going to kind of take this one at a time. Building her is going to be kind of fun. I do know that she's going to go fatal, probably fatal blade. I have her on revenge right now. Maybe I might keep her on revenge. It's kind of interesting. Plus, if it has 30% extra chance to hit with a critical hit, then she's always going to be hitting pretty hard with that first skill. So, as long as we can get a crit rate revenge runes. So, he needs slots 3, 4, and 6. Let's go ahead and throw this on. Wait, was it 3, 4, and 6? I believe, yeah. I'm losing my train of thought. So pretty much, it's a lot of repetition. This game is an extremely high grind game, and you'll never, ever, ever be done grinding. There's always going to be something you need, so you might as well just take it one step at a time. The majority of the things that you need to do in this game right now, after you've completed up to Famon, you're looking good, you pulled your light dark scroll, you may or may not have liked what you got. Some people might have pulled a Nat 5, some people might have pulled a Martial Cat. Either way, that's not what's going to define the next course of your game. The way I usually go about progression at this point is I need to decide what I want to work on next. Giants, obviously, but it's still too early to tell. It's much too early to tell, and I haven't gotten enough units to kind of put it together, because you do need units, and you can't just go straight ahead without thinking about it. So it's very irresponsible for me to try and build already without kind of thinking, which means it takes me back to the point, just grind the certain scenarios over and over again. You can grind Giants B1, 2, 3, whatever you can get to, and then kind of hold out and just wait on it, see what happens. You're going to want to start to decide to maybe 4-star some units here in the future, or level up some other guys. Get everybody put up. Now, you don't want to build a million units. I'm testing out a couple units because I'm interested, but I'm probably not going to hold on to too many of them, because like I said, you really need to be very positive about what you're doing, and like, it's okay. It's always okay to be able to test in terms of, like, right now, at first I was like, okay, maybe I might take the high elemental over, but you know, thinking about it right now, the important thing is he already has skill ups. He has skill ups ready. She does not. He's got less things to, or less essences needed to awaken him. He takes much less, or he already has his runes on him, so he probably is the better choice between the two. She's not awful, plus you can farm her again, so it doesn't make much sense to keep her around. You kind of need to do these things in your head. You need to think about what's important and what is not, and you know, that's what's going to get you through. So sometimes you'll see some runes in the shop and things, nothing too crazy here. Let's see. We can't summon these yet. What I want to do actually is max out Seek. I think he's Seek. Yeah, this is Seek, his awakened name. I want to give him as many of these units as I can, so I can skill him up and evolve him to 3-star, which is going to be obviously pretty important. Like, you need to be able to get him to the next star, because right now he's too darn squishy. He will not survive at all. We're getting a lot of 2-star units, which is great for getting the evolutions to get them to the next star. Obviously, that's something we really need to pay attention to. Let's see, we're gonna... Oh, we only have 2 of them. Okay, so yeah. What I was doing is working on the wind serpent. Excuse me, I can't speak today. Oh my gosh. I was working on the wind serpent. What we're gonna probably do is put one of these guys aside in order to continue farming for him, because I do want to keep the wind serpent around for as long as possible, just because he is our only go-to if things don't work out the way they're supposed to. Are we still on floor 3? Yeah. Yes, we are. So we're gonna go back to floor 3. Oh, we do need some energy here. How far in are we? Oh, we're at 25 minutes. Excuse me. Wow. Well, time goes by like crazy. I will say that. We didn't get too much done. We did pop our LED scroll. We kind of talked about the important things here, which are: 1, you need to make sure that after you're finishing Famon, your first thing should be always go straight to Famon. Second, after that, is start putting up the right runes for your units. You need to have a team. Don't just put them on every unit, put them on the select ones you have going forward. I'm testing some things out because I'm going to do this for YouTube, obviously, so people are going to see this. And then once you decide what unit you want to carry through with, then you go through and refine those runes to the correct stats. And finally, without further ado, you're going to want to try and implement them into different places. So with that being said, excuse me, like I said, I am out of it today. I can't think straight. With that being said, I will be here tomorrow again with another video. Obviously, we're going to try and do this every single day that we can. But thank you guys for watching. I switched up to music today. I'm not really a fan of it, although I didn't really like what is it called? No copyright sounds. This epidemic sounds. This is where it's from. It doesn't give the same appeal of excitement that this one does. Maybe it's making me sleepy. I don't know. But thank you guys for watching. Stay classy, and I will see you tomorrow. Peace out.